What's going on, everybody? Mega here with a new video, and it has been a long time since I've made a new video. The reason why I haven't been making videos is because I decided to move this channel over to a mostly stream only channel. The reason is because, unlike with the videos, I don't have to spend time like editing live streams. I can just do the live stream and just like not have to worry about it, not have to worry about editing or anything. But I noticed that 90% of my views are from these videos and not the live streams, so I decided that I might as well just do some more videos. Yeah, okay, I was just checking my door back there. So in this short little video, I'm gonna show you how to do this in Ren'Py. Let me just pull up the GIF that I made of what we're gonna be making. So basically, we're gonna be making something similar to this. This entire scene was animated in Blender, but so I can't actually show you the exact process. Well, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, but I can't really like actually show you me making the actual scene, because the actual like animation that I did was this entire scene ended up being 15 million polys, and I obviously cannot record and render this at the same time. So basically, what the scene was is that. So actually, let me pull up the actual scene, because I have it open right now. So this is the scene that I was working with, and so we have a house, some houses, and we have a couple cars, and basically the first thing that I did is these two street lights. I duplicated them and moved them over to the side, because I'm gonna try and put on my look dev view, because maybe you can see it if I put on look dev, and hopefully my nothing crashes, because it's such a big thing though. What I want to see is if yeah, it's just loading, because this is a 15 million poly scene, so it is a lot for it to process. Okay, yeah, this doesn't pull it up. This doesn't pull up what I wanted to show. I'll go. I'm gonna have to go ahead and go into rendered view, and if Blender doesn't crash, then you'll see what I mean. But I am using my GPU, so it should not crash. It just will take a while to process, and I can't zoom it, because then it will change, and I do not want that. So yeah, we're just waiting. Still initializing. Okay, now it's updating it. You can probably hear my fans rolling right now. Okay, so it's almost done. It just needs to do the path tracing. Okay, it looks very grainy, but just bear with me. So basically, what I did is I had a like just a basic like sky background in originally in this, and so what I did is I completely turned it off so that it's completely dark, and then I duplicated these lights right here so that they're over here, so that I have more lighting, and that's basically all I did differently. After I did that, let me switch back to the normal view so I can move around. After I did that, I created this little raindrop here. It was basically an iosphere, and I just modified it to be into the shape of a raindrop, and then in my shading view, all I did is I added a glass shader onto it. If I switch over to look dev, you can actually see it. It looks pretty much like a glass, pretty much. Well, I would have to switch to rendered actually. Yeah, so let's just wait for this to finish loading. Yeah, we're just waiting for it to finish loading. And these videos are going to be just like my streams. I am not editing them. So that's why this will be a bit of a longer video, because I am waiting for this to finish loading. And it's finished, almost finished. And you could kind of see it already. You can see that it looks like a glass, and that's exactly what I wanted when I made this. The reason why we added a glass shader onto it is because when you think about raindrops, they're basically, they have like a very clear appearance. They raindrops actually aren't actually blue in color. They're actually clear in color, and that's what you. And the best way to simulate that is to put a glass shader on it. Okay, we don't need to be here anymore. And so once I did that, all I did is I duplicated this road here, and I moved it up to here. And so basically, if I click on it, click on this plane that I created, and I go into my particle settings, which is right here, you can see I created a basic particle system. So I use an emitter. I set the number of raindrops to be 500,000. So throughout the entire animation, 500,000 raindrops will fall. And I made the animation start at frame 100 and end at frame 250, so it's not that long. This lifetime here, this is how what I set it to, because that's when the actual when the actual animation hits the road itself, which I can actually show you. So I think it's numpad 7, which is front view. No, that's top view. It's actually numpad 1. Okay. And so we're just gonna use the basic the solid view, because if we go into any other view, it's gonna mess it up. So I'm actually gonna go back all the way back to 100. So if we go down the thing, you can see the rain forming. And this is actually a mistake I made. You'll notice that we are already past 112, and it's still falling. The reason is because I actually set it up so that the actual rendered, because I'm actually not too sure why it still goes, even though it's past the lifetime, but whatever. So yeah, when you're setting this up, you want to set it up so that once it hits the bottom, that's the end point. And as you can see, mine goes beyond that. So what you would want to do is that I would want to, if my animation starts at 100, I would want it to set it to end at the lifetime to be 153, so it stops it right there. So it stops the rain right there. And then if we go into, and so, but if we do it like this, what it's gonna do is that it's actually gonna go through it, through the actual floor, and it's not actually gonna destroy the particles as it touches the surface. To fix this, what we simply do, you can see all this rain. What we do is that all we do is we go into the, we select the road, and basically anything that we want to do this to. So I did this to also the lamppost and the sidewalk and the 2 cars. You click physics properties, and then you select collision, and then I just basically made sure kill particles was on, and I set dampening and friction to 1, and that's all I did. And then once I did that, what it does is that when it touches those surfaces, it destroys the particles. Now you can go further into this and actually add in dynamic painting, and what that will do is that it'll actually change your shaders on the objects the particles hit to, or actually change the color of them and make it more look like actual rain. I didn't do this because I felt that it was good enough, because how I had my camera set up, you actually don't see it actually touching the floor. So I felt that I didn't really need dynamic painting, and also when I tried to get dynamic painting to work, it wasn't working for me. So I decided to just leave it. But if you want to give dynamic painting a try, there are plenty of tutorials on actually doing dynamic painting. But I did not do it for this one. And so yeah, and once I had that set up, I'm gonna close Blender, and I'm not gonna save it because I didn't really change anything. So let's let it close, okay. And so what I did after that is that I just rendered out as an animation, and I set it up so that it exports. And let me just move this over so you can see the actual animation that it came out as. So let's play it. And that's how the final animation came out. I think it took about maybe like 5 to 6 hours to render. So just keep in mind that when you're doing this, it will take a long time to render, because you're processing a lot of information. Now, if you're not actually processing a lot of information. Mine's had a lot of information to process because I was working with a 15 million poly scene. But if you're not working with a scene like that, and you just have like a basic road, then it's not going to take like 5.5 hours to render. It's going to take a lot less time. So once I had this video, what I did is that I have this program right here called Free Video to JPEG Converter. It's completely free, as the name suggests. And so basically what you do is that you just drag and drop this over here, and I select every frame. And so what this does is that it converts every frame of the video to a JPEG. So if I go to Documents and Pictures, I have a folder here that was created by the program, and it has all the frames of the videos. Well, not all of them, because I took out some of the frames for the animation that I created in Ren'Py. And so once I had those frames, all I did is that I opened Ren'Py. I went to my game folder. I went into the images folder, and I created a new folder called animations. And in there you can see all 10 frames of the animation I used. You don't have to use 10 frames, but I decided to use 10 frames because the more frames you use, the smoother the animation is gonna be. And so let's just go through these pictures so you can see the actual images I used. Yeah, it's just like simple raindrops. And so now let's take a look at the code. It's a very simple code it's not that difficult at all. But to access it, we're gonna have to open up Ren'Py, and we're gonna have to open up script, because that will pull up Atom, which has all my script files. And so what I did is over here, I just right clicked and clicked new file, and then I named it animations.rpy. Make sure you name it .rpy, or Atom will not know that you're working with a Ren'Py file, or rather Ren'Py won't know how to read it. And so the code is actually very simple. You define an image and with a variable, and you do a colon, and then you just do the actual location of the frame. So in my case, it was images, animations, and then that's the name of the first file. And so then you define how long you want that frame to stay on the screen. I started with 0.66 seconds. The reason I did that is because when I created when I originally created it, I actually opened it in a second program. But this isn't, you don't have to do this, but I just did this for testing. If I can find it, I have this program here called Screen to GIF. It's the program I use for making GIFs. And so I opened up Editor, and what that did is it allowed me to drag and drop the 10 frames. And actually, let me actually drag it over so you can see what I mean. I'll just copy it because I don't want to lose this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to. Okay, and now I can bring that. Damn it. Oh. I'll have to move this all over into one line so I can just drag and drop it over. And so once I did that, you can see that it displays all of these for 66 seconds by default. And so I went with that. But when I did it in Ren'Py, it came out very laggy. So then I tried 0.5 seconds, and that was better, but it was still very laggy. So I ended up just completely going all the way for 0.1. And that created the speed that I wanted. And so yeah, and then I just cycled through it, and then at the end I just did repeat. And so in the actual script, what I ended up doing is if we go over here, all I did is it did scene rain, which will show the animation because it's defined as rain. Oops. And then I did with Flash, and Flash is a custom animation I created, a custom transition I mean. And well, what it simply is that you type in it, and then you just type $flash equals fade .25 0.75 and color, and that just basically creates like a flash animation for like a I like to use it for like a flashback scene. And I will actually show you now how it came out. And I'll click continue. doesn't matter which choice I choose, and I'm just gonna zoom through this, and this is where the scene actually is. I glanced over at Saki and noticed she was trying to look away from the left side of the park. Oh yeah, this park has that place. I say this to myself as I think back to a specific night. And you can see the flash, and then you can see the animation playing. And yeah, and so that's basically how I set this up. It was very simple to do, but when you're doing your animations in Blender to then like do it over in Ren'Py, it can take a long time to render. The reason I do it like this is because my backgrounds are made in Blender, and so I felt that if I'm doing a rain animation on the background that I made in Blender, the actual animation should be done in Blender because to make it look more realistic. So yeah, and that's basically how I did it. Oh, and one last thing, I am actually working. I've been asked this a couple of times that I should open up my server. The reason why my server is closed is because my old server got hacked, and basically everything on my server that I was using got deleted. So that's why I have it closed. But I am considering opening it up. However, I'm thinking of like a way to set it up so that if somebody wants to support the game, they can support the game and get additional benefits within the server. But I'm working out ways to do that, and I will probably be using the streams as the main source of like how you can sign up for it if you choose to do so. But joining the server will actually be completely free. It's just if you want additional benefits and you want to support the game, then you would just like donate some money to the game. Like it doesn't have to, like even $1 would help. So yeah, this has been Mega. So yeah, that actually, before I say goodbye, that's actually what I wanted to say. That yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and I should have that coming soon actually. So yeah, this has been Mega, and I will see you again next time.